In 2019, the dumpster fire that was the New York Jets, led by Adam Gase, quarterbacked by Sam Darnold. Apologies for the hoarse voice. Went into Baltimore as 15-point underdogs on the road and lost by 21. In 2022, the new look, supposedly, New York Jets hosted the Baltimore Ravens in a home opener on 9/11 as 6-point home underdogs. And for the minutes while both teams were actually trying, they were down by 21. Inexcusable. Now, is the season over? No. Should we fire anyone? Of course not. But me, myself, and all the Jets fans I was with, and all the Jets fans I saw walking out of that stadium, you could see it on their face. It was sickening. And there were some things I liked from the young guys, from the defense. I'll make another video about that once I rewatch the game. But save it for me. Save me the whole, well, if we didn't have those 3 fumbles and those 4 drops and those 5 penalties and missed those 2 kicks and blow that 1 coverage, then we would have won. If my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle. What are we talking about? Those things are the difference in every NFL game every week since as long as I can remember. The moral victories got to stop. Last year, yeah, sure. I still didn't like a loser's mentality, but we knew what it was going to be. But I don't want to hear anymore. Go compete. Go compete. It was Joe Flacco. It was our backup quarterback. Okay, let me name you some quarterbacks who played yesterday. Jacoby Brissett, Mitch Trubisky, Jared Goff, Marcus Mariota, Daniel Jones. Those guys are starting quarterbacks in this league by title only. If I told you all those guys are on the bench next year or back on the bench in half of them's case, nobody's surprised. But every single one of those quarterbacks with those teams, some were facing a former 1 seed in the Titans, some were on the road, some were at home, some have a veteran coach, some have a young coach. All of them found ways to compete and be in their games till the final minute. We're not just reacting to one game here. We're not. We can't act like the past few seasons had not existed. All right, the Jets have had the worst record in the NFL the last 5 years, one of the longest playoff droughts in professional sports, about to be extended another year likely. Even if they turn this around, they're probably going to make the playoffs, right? And so here's what happened. We had a car that couldn't run at all. We had it for 5 years. The air conditioning didn't work. Loud screeching brakes. Didn't start half the time for 5 years. All right, we drove that beater around. Then we take it to the shop. We spend all this money and all these upgrades, right? And we take it for a test drive and the engine falls out. It's the same old Jets fans that just want to stick that moniker out, and anytime any of us get positive, they're just waiting for the other shoe to drop, and for one more week they were proven right. Because the excuses won't stop. They'll just change. Right? It's just a rebuilding year. It's just preseason. It's just week 1. It's just week 2. It's just Flacco. Oh, it's Zach's first couple games back. He's got to get healthy. Oh, it's Zach. We're still young. We're a young team. So Joe Flacco's too old. Zach Wilson's too young. I mean, the Jets roster is the 10th oldest roster in the NFL. We have 1 rookie starting, that's Sauce Gardner. I mean, so I guess somebody just tell me a date I can circle on my calendar when it's okay to expect the Jets to look like the rest of the NFL and go compete. Circle that date for me. Because to me, it's going to be next Sunday at Cleveland. That is now a must-win game. Because you got to end the September losing streak, and that's the most winnable game we have in September. And they have a backup quarterback playing too. Nobody expects the Cleveland Browns to be competing for a Super Bowl this year. They got a good roster, but that is a very, very winnable road game. Absolutely. And the thing is, as negative and reactionary as we can be as Jets fans, the bar for us to get excited and be just back all in behind this team like that is so low. It is so low, man. We opened the game with like a 12-yard gain to Michael Carter, and the stadium was elated. High-fiving, jumping, fist-bumping, hugging. It doesn't take much. You find out a way to go 2-3, beat Cleveland, and then Zach Wilson win one of your first 2 games back and play good in one of them. That's it. And this fan base will be back right behind you because I was recruiting. I was begging people to come on, it's 9/11, it's a home opener. We got to be electric. We got to bring back a home crowd. As many people as I can get, trying to rally them to that game. I was traveling. I spent like $1,000 to go be there and sit in the rain and do that. And even people, I got a lot of family, Long Island, Jersey, the city. And they're like, dude, I'm not going to that. Even this game got closer. Oh, it's supposed to rain? I'm not going to watch an embarrassment in the rain. It's not going to be an embarrassment. I'm saying, come on. Even Vegas, who has us winning 5.5 games, Vegas, who thinks we suck, said we were a 6-point underdog. The odds makers, who think we're trash, told me that this is going to be a game where we just need one play, one big play on special teams or defense to be right in it down to the final minutes. And the joke's on me because it was over by the third quarter and I sat through what was essentially a Ravens home game as the clock ticked to double zeros. Offensively, I don't know what the game plan was. We came out in like a 17 tight end set, like it was 1958, and the ground game actually took some traction early. But Michael Carter averaged 6 yards per carry, and we still dropped back nearly 60 times. So we gave up on the run far too soon. And when we did throw the ball, did Joe Flacco throw a football that traveled more than 15 yards in the air? I saw it with live, but I know when I rewatch it, I'm going to see Elijah Moore open a lot, and the ball not going his way. The whole point Joe Flacco is playing over a guy like Mike White or Streveler is because he can push the ball down the field and get rid of it quickly. He didn't do any of that. He looked like he was moving in slow motion. George Fant was getting bullied by Justin Houston, and now we got TJ Watt and Myles Garrett coming up next. Garrett Wilson looks like the best playmaker we had in the field, and he can't stay on it. 4 catches for 52 yards, and he played 30% of the snaps. Braxton Berrios getting more reps than him in the slot. 10th overall pick. And going 3 tight end sets and only playing 2 receivers, leaving Garrett Wilson on the bench. So essentially you're playing Lawrence Cager. I like Cager. I thought he should have made the final 53, but you're playing Lawrence Cager over Garrett Wilson essentially in that personnel decision. That's crazy. Defensively, the game plan to keep Lamar Jackson in the pocket worked. It did. Ravens couldn't run the ball. Big penalty, and then the blown coverage really cost us on defense. Only so much the defense can hang in there, though, after all those 3 and outs. So I'll be back with another video where I can get in the headspace to rewatch it, and there's going to be some positive things. Like the rookies, overall, they looked excellent, but I just really, at some point, we got to change the mindset and the expectations to actually go out there and compete. And a lot of teams decided for that day to be yesterday, and hopefully that day for the Jets will be next Sunday. And we'll talk ball soon.